Hi, this is Dorothy Kelty with Raccoon Alley Creations, and I'm working on my design team project for Dear Julie Julie's January challenge, the project for Facebook. And the kit I'm using is Antique Pansies and Ephemera kits, and this is my January 2024 design team project. So don't forget to check out the playlist. And so I'm continuing with the same project. So this was the one that from the last video. And as you can see, I've sewn some lace on the edge because I wanted them to be just a little bit bigger. And I have also made a sleeve at the top to put the string through, okay? So these are, we'll be looking at these again in a moment, but these are the 5 that I've done. Now I'm starting a second one. This is the pattern that I cut for this, and I have made 5. I like to put 5 on my banners when I make them. So, and once again, I've got some bits and pieces here, but we're just going to be collaging with this fabric, this beautiful antique Pansies fabric. Now, one of the things what I've done with this is I turned the edges over and sewed it. And then once again, I made the sleeve to put the thread through, the string through. And now, let me just set these aside because we'll do these one at a time. I have started with some stuff to put on here. This Antique Daisies kit, I think if I was going to do this again on fabric, I'd choose something that was a little bit more vibrant, but I just thought this was so gorgeous. So that's why I used it. And I have a bunch of different little pieces of this, that, or whatnot to put on here. And as I say, we're just collaging with these fabric. And so I also have some of the other designs and stuff that we can use. Now, this was a collage page, but I can also just cut out shapes on this to use for little elements in it. So I especially like these rectangular elements. So we can cut out that. Okay. And we can also, this little yellow pansy, I think would be really pretty cut out. See if I put my little scissors away, I don't see it. So I'm just going to go through, and this fabric is still attached to the background paper. And I do that because it makes it easier to cut out, especially these kind of small things. So when you have collage elements, when I come to a place where there's a straight edge here, I just round it a little bit so it looks a little bit more like a pansy edge. So, you know, we can just add this right here. This could go down here. Let me see what I like. Down here. I can sew these on later, or I can just leave them glued on. So here we have this. And what about this? I think I kind of like the lace on the bottom. Now this lace is a little bit stained here. Stained with coffee. Let's see. So if we put it on the edge. So now as I'm looking at how this is, we put this around the edge. This is centered with the side of the lace in this, so it's offset just a little bit. And we could put, what if we put this down here and this up here? I kind of like that. This fabric, by the way, is something I had in my stash, and has all these positive words and stuff on it, so I thought that made a great background. All right, let's put this back here. And I am going to use the coffee stain part. I could cut it off, but, you know, grungy is good. And I'm going to just cut this off right here. Now, I want this to go underneath the edge of this. So I'm going to go ahead and, this is my Fabri-Tac glue. See if I like one side better. Yeah, I like the other side better. So I'm going to put glue on the back of this. This lace was cut off of a, it was the edging on some sort of a, like a dress or scarf or something. Okay, now let's glue this down. Okay, same thing, Fabri-Tac glue around the edge. I actually, I have a couple sewing machines, and I have a small one that I take to classes and stuff. It usually pretty much stays in my car. But yesterday, when I was sewing on the white ones, I jammed it. Some lace got jammed into it. And I couldn't find the screwdriver that goes with the machine. And a little bit of this, that, and whatnot. So I decided to bring my traveling sewing machine in with me. Okay, so this was, there were some round doilies. Those aren't them. These were them. The doily, these round things were joined into a doily, and I cut the strings off where they were connected, and these were fill in some of those empty spaces, and I thought they were just kind of fun all by themselves. So I cut them off, and I'm going to, now I'm actually running a little bit of this glue out to the edges because I want to kind of play with these a little bit, you know, in how they're put. And I want it to extend below the bottom a little bit. So, okay, so they're kind of curvy. And then this one, I need to take the paper off the back of the fabric. There we go. Okay. And now the first video in the series shows me playing with putting the iron on, showing what I used, and you know, my thoughts on the different ones that I brought out. So you might want to check that one out. Okay, here's the second one I'm going to work on. Now this one, this was like a square card, and I cut around the pansies on these, and then I also just kind of curved the edge. There's some words down here, and I just kind of liked them. So this is some embroidery off of a pillowcase and stuff that I used. This is, I could actually put this under this time, like this. Not sure I like that. Where'd that little square thing go? Here it is. Maybe I'll put this down here. Or here's a rectangle that's kind of fun. This was an advertisement for a sewing machine. Now, one of the things that I decided is that I wouldn't use this fabric that has the design on it, possibly if I had an extremely bold pattern, but for the most part, you kind of lose it. Also, on some of the ones that I did, I hadn't washed the fabric, so that was another one of my little experiments. And I think because there's sizing in the fabric, the design didn't come through as strongly on that either. So here we go. With this, that can go there. And I'm being a little bit more random. Now we'll put this here. And we'll take the backing off this one. We'll glue around the edges of it. Now sometimes glue will show through on fabric, and if you don't like that, then what you want to do is smear it around a little bit, or use Mod Podge or something that you just paint on. I kind of don't care, so okay, let's put this right here, okay, and then we'll put this down here, so it's kind of offset. So these are super simple collages that I'm doing on here, fabric collages, but kind of fun, I think. Julie, one of the things that Dear Julie Julie does that I like about her designs is that she will give you things in a lot of different sizes. So this little bitty stamp size piece is the same design as this Ever Faithful card here. So that helps add continuity, and besides, it just gives you pieces to play with. Okay, so there's number 2. Okay, now let's go with number 3. Okay, and again, I have a rectangular one. I want to add something else to the back of this. And I think in this case, I think I'm going to use one of these. So, and I think I'm just going to do a little bit of, I'm not going to fussy cut this flower out, but I am going to just do some, you know, rounding the edges just to make it more interesting here. Okay, now maybe I want to put this like this. That might be kind of fun. Okay, and then would this be a good place for these? Okay, what if I cut this out? Now this was the sewing, this was a piece of the pillowcase that I used. This was embroidery on the pillowcase. And I think that looks good. So let me pull these out. I'm going to look at the back of this and see if I think one side is prettier or more textured. This side looked flatter. It's probably just because it was flat laying on things over the years. Okay, and I'm going around the edge. When I see a place where the thread got cut or torn over the years, then I put a little glue on that spot to kind of hold it in place. Okay, so now here we go with putting it right down here. Okay, and then, let's see, do I want this and then this? I think that's what I want to do. I'm going to cut around this just a little closer over here. But anyway, as you see, there was rust spots on the pillowcase. And for the book, for this project, I just thought it added a little bit of, you know, interest to it. That grungy look we like so much. And here I am taking the back off, and you can see the pattern that was on the fabric. And we'll put it like this. Okay. Again, glue around the edge. Another thing that you can do if you're worried about, you know, lines or globs of the fabric coming through is you can take your finger and just smear them a little bit around, and that way you don't have the lines and the globs. Okay, so let's put this right here. Okay, and then this one we'll put, I just love it when I can find people that are, you know, throwing things away because they're discolored or something. You know, a lot of times people hate to throw it away, but they're not going to use it. But when I tell them that I'll use it for my junk journals or things like that, then they're happy to give it to me. Okay, this one, as you can see, I mostly cut out around the pansy, the huge pansy, and then I just rounded the other edge a little bit. And this came from one of these doilies that I got someplace, and I instead of covering up everything, this center, to save it, I just cut around the edge a little bit, and then I can add this, and I think that that's all I'm going to do on this one. So we'll start by putting some glue around the edges of this. Sometimes when you're doing things, I like to do this on things like snippet rolls or things, is just do wonky sewing where I flip things around and do it every which way, and that's kind of fun. Okay, now this needs to go so that I want it on the banner. Okay, and then this can go like this. So a lot of times I like to use 3 elements on something like this, but I really think that this is fine with 2. I think with the background and the flowers, there's enough interest to with the banner that it's going to work out well. Okay, let's. Okay, there we go. One giant pansy in the center of that one. You know, I think I want this to just come around a little bit. Hopefully that's not so dry that it won't stay. Okay, and then the last one, I have another strip of lace, and this was like a journaling card, a rectangular piece that I cut out. And so this one, once again, I'm going to put, I think I'm going to put the lace on this side just to be different. So this will come down here. I'm going to cut it off right here. Okay, so this will come down here, and then this will go on top of it. Okay, and then we have this flower that we've cut out, or that I've cut out. Pull it down a little bit. And here's a little rectangular piece that we can go over on this side. So I think that looks kind of interesting. So again, I'm going to leave this here just to kind of keep it in place. Which side do I want to put down on this? I like the way this curls around, and so I want it to curl up. So this becomes the back. Here we go. And I'm not really putting anything on the parts that are curling up. Let's get this out of the way. Okay, there we go. And now next we can put this piece down. So add the glue. Aren't these kind of fun? Okay. Add this one right up here. I wanted to go over the top edge a little bit. You know, I may just use this down here. Let's see. more over here. I think I'll put it there. Okay. Let's glue this down. So adding things that are you know, have texture. I love to have some texture, make it more touchable on things that I make. So, okay, these need to dry really well. 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I'm going to show you how I would string those. I'm going to use these. So we're going to start with figuring out how we want them laid out. 3, 4. Okay, so here's the way I've chosen. Can you see all 5 of these? So 1, 2. So I've kind of balanced these a little bit. This one is different with just the cutout pansy there, so I want that in the center. And then I have this same kind of pansy on these two, and then on the outside ones, again, you know, just a little different. So, and then what I'm going to use for this, I have this really pretty ribbon that I got from the Santa exchange, 12 days. I think that was in, I don't remember what group. Oh, wait a minute. If this is, oh, this is to glue on. I'm not going to use this. Okay. Well, I don't have a ribbon. I decided, I was looking at this one, but I decided it was too red. I wonder how it would look with this. 1, 2. These two switch. How does that look with these? Okay, well, I'm going to go for it. And I just want to show you the way that I would feed this through here. You probably know how to do this, so you can ignore it. I take a needle and I put through the end of my ribbon or whatever I'm going to use to go through. And you're going to start at one side and go through to the other. So I'm going to pick up this right side and I will feed the pin through. Safety pin. A bigger safety pin might have worked better, but this will be good. Okay, now what I like to do, I don't necessarily know where these are going to hang up. Am I going to give them to somebody? Am I going to keep them for myself? If I do keep them for myself, where am I going to hang them? So I tend not to put things in the middle between them so that I can spread them across wherever I want to put them when I put them up. And then I can cut the edge off. And I'm just going to put a knot on the end on each side. And that way, if I cut them off, it's very easy to end them. Whereas if I put, well, I could possibly put beads there because they could just be pushed up a little bit. I'll just show you how I would do that if I was going to do it. Okay, so I'm going to leave the rickrack really, really long. So like I said, I can cut it off when I decide. If I wanted to have a bead on it, I would feed the bead through. And of course, this one has a really large center hole, so that is useful. Oh, no, it doesn't have a hole on the other end. It's closed for some reason, so no bead. Okay, so I'm just going to take and put a knot on this end. You could also hang charms in between here if you wanted to, or little pieces of a snippet roll. And my last video will be showing these finished and hanging up. So I do want to thank you very much for joining. There's all the information below for the Dear Julie Julie design team, their projects, and links to the other places that I'm doing it. And also, whatever kits are being used from the Dear Julie Julie shop, she puts a 25% discount on them, which is a huge discount. I think you'll agree. And so you can get a good deal on any of the kits that any of the design team are using. And that'll probably be through the end of the month. So this is, I just want to thank you. This is at D.A. Kelty or Dorothy Kelty Raccoon Alley Creations on YouTube. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And thank you very much for watching.